Jones, the CEO of Richard Allen Preparatory Charter School, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. For those aren't,
yes,
and thanks for being with us, Larry. For those that aren't familiar, what exactly is a charter school as compared to a public school?
Well, first of all, a charter school is a public school. Students in charter schools are public school students, and a charter school is, or a traditional school has a school district and is operated in that way. A charter school can be organized by a community group, a group of community members, nonprofit corporation, and they are in many ways like a school district of one, and they provide a really good opportunity for site-based management where their management, curriculum, decision-making takes place with that group of individuals led by their board of trustees and governed by the rules and laws of the specific state in which that charter school resides.
So it's safe to say that the curriculum and everything that goes on would be specifically tailored for the students that are attending that particular school.
Yes.
And that makes it far more efficient that when you can read who your target person is, who your audience is. So that it actually makes a lot of sense. Why in some communities is there so much controversy about it when it does make so much sense?
Well, I think there's controversy for a few reasons, and one of the reasons that always creates controversy is this thought that public schools that are traditional will lose funding or lose resources. And I think that's a really wrong-headed approach to take a look at. The right approach should be, why are we not funding education for all students in all educational delivery systems to the point where it should be funded? That is the question.
Right.
In Philadelphia, where I reside, if every charter school were to magically go away, the funding inequities would not disappear. So we're having a battle that really is not a battle. I think there's also the point that we also have an issue of control. So charter schools give parents a significant amount of control because they choose where their children go. So I think there are a lot of things that create the controversy, and the final thing I would say on that is one of the things that creates controversy is parents and many people in the public don't always know the truth. So charter schools are not private schools. We're not profiteers. We don't get to avoid any laws and accountability. All those things are just not true. But sometimes people have that image of charter schools, which is a false image to have.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's also a loss of finances in their mind and also a loss of power, and
yes,
kind of interesting too. So that at that point, the students are secondary to the power struggle, and that gets stupid. Okay, and because charter schools are able to tailor and modify to whom the students are, you do have great amount of success I've read.
I think charter schools and schools in particular are having success, and I think the major part of that is how do we identify and define that success as well. So one of the things that we look at our schools, we're middle school, and the sad fact is the vast majority of students that are entering our school in fifth grade are entering many times 2 to 3 grade levels, 2 to 3 years below where they should be. So part of our success is that we've made our growth standards for the last couple of years. Our growth, we've moved students from their lower levels of performance in double-digit numbers. But another part of our success that we look at is the fact that we do this with addressing their socioeconomic, emotional needs. We also think it is very important to make sure that there are cultural aspects of a student's life that are not only addressed but well represented. And so in a state like Pennsylvania, where 4% of public school teachers are African American, just 4% in the entire state, our student body is overwhelmingly black students. And so we think it would be irresponsible to not have that demographic represented. And not only do we have over 40% of our teachers who are African American, we also have 4 former students who are employed as well. We have contractors. We have various people that we are able to make those decisions, and we think that those decisions are important ones as well. And they build a student's self-esteem as well as their academic esteem.
Yeah. And also, it forms connections when there's a reflection of the students in their teachers and administration. They connect, and connecting is, to me, sometimes more important than the educational facts themselves. Let's talk about a campaign called the I Am Black campaign. Tell me about that.
Yes, as you know, there's a presidential election that's coming up, and I've heard
about that.
Yeah. I think it's coming up in the next few weeks. Who would have thought, right?
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. And one of the things, when we look at the Democratic nominee, former Vice President Biden, many people believe that the charter school movement is not necessarily a movement that is for Black people, African American people, and people of color. That's just not true. The overwhelming data and evidence suggests that people of color, Black people in this country, support charter schools. And so we want to make sure that each of the candidates, but more specifically Democratic candidate Joe Biden, understands that charter school families, charter school teachers, charter school supporters who are Black love their schools. They believe in school choice. They see school choice as one of those abilities to have a transformational impact to change in one generation a child's economic status and position. And because Black voters believe in this and we vote, we think it is very important that Vice President Biden, who is vying to be President Biden, supports this, understands this, and is able to look at the charter school movement and support, understanding that nearly 70% of all charter school students are students of color, and their parents vote as well, and many of them are Democratic voters too.
Right, certainly. And Biden is the one that would listen, and the other one is the one that wouldn't. Okay, that's just my opinion on it. How would one find out more about charter schools and get more information? Oh, by the way, are charter schools tuition free? They're not private schools, so I assume that they are.
You're absolutely correct in that. Charter schools are completely tuition free. You don't have to pay to go to a charter school. You don't have to do any of those things if you want to go to a charter school. So they are totally public schools. And to your previous question, if you want to find out more about this movement, you can go to charterswork.com. That's CHARTERSWORK.com, charterswork.com, to learn more and to take action and to let policymakers in your city and state across the nation know that charter schools are serving some of our most vulnerable students.
Excellent. Larry Jones, you're a great spokesperson. We appreciate the time with you.
Thank you so very much.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.